Hello, beautiful people. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I just am here, the creator and writer of the Honestly Sis newsletter, a bi-weekly newsletter geared towards millennials who are truly trying to get their shit together. And I'm here for another daily motivational video. So, guys, I am tired. I just came back from my facial, and I'm really like pushing myself to do this video. So I apologize in advance if my energy is not what it normally is. Let's go ahead and go to our star seeds. Actually, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. All right, dear God, guardian angels, beings of light, we come to you as humbly as I know how to just say thank you. Dear God, guardian angels, we ask, what messages do you deem worthy for us to hear at this time? Please deliver these messages to me and through me as far as possible. In God's name I pray. Gosh. All right, so the first card that came out is Ascension. Your soul is evolving to higher states of consciousness. You are ready for this. I think the message is very clear. Angel number 114. God is just letting you know that no matter where you may be in your life, actually, not even that where you may be in your life. I feel like we all, as a human race, is starting to ascend to a higher level of consciousness. And it's really, we really getting to that point where you just have to decide, like, what side are you on? Are you riding for God, or are you gonna be for some more vibrational BS? But no matter what, God just wants you to know that you're ready for this. You've been training lifetimes for this. There's absolutely nothing for you to be afraid of. The last message that to double down, you have absolutely nothing to be afraid of. The card that came out is no limitations. You are a celestial being with unlimited potential. There is much for you to share. And so God is saying that during these dark and turbulent times, do not get caught up in the fear mongering. Don't get caught up in everything that is going on in the world. Really just focus on your ascension. Focus on bringing those things and those visions that God had brought into your life. If you do that, if you just tap into those powers and into that side of the world, you know, into your spiritual resources, you'll find that this will be able to keep you through. The last message that came out is transcendence. Transcend your mind limitations and allow your soul to truly shine. So I cannot make that more plain and clear. God is just letting you know that right now we are going through a time of ascension for the humankind, for the human race. And God is saying that instead of getting caught up in the darkness, to just really, really focus on the light, focus on bringing those things that God had brought on your heart to life. This is a really really good time to focus in on your creative projects and to just find things to do with your time. Don't just sit around on your timeline or watching the news. Like, really transcend. Like, this is the time that we've been waiting for, and this is the time where we learn if we're going to be alchemists of our lives. Like, this is how we become alchemists of our lives. This is how we help bring heaven on earth. So I'm going to go to my favorite deck, the Rainbow Prism. God, clarify this message of ascension, no limitation, and transcendence. What do you want us to get us to understand about tapping into our soul, tapping into our light, tapping into our spiritual resources, and realizing that we have no limitations? God, what do you want us to know about holding the vibration of peace? What do you want us to know about this message of transcendence? Why is it so important that we continue to work on our passions despite everything that's going on in the world? Allow no room for doubt or confusion. My bad. So, actually we had 3 cards that came out. Oh my God. I can't make this up. The 3 cards that came out is Surrender, Angel number 451, Cleanse, and Caution. along with growth and creativity. Surrender, cleanse, caution, and growth. I feel like the reason why God wants us to focus on okay, that looks better. So it's surrender, caution, cleanse. Surrender to God. Okay. Surrender to God. This caution, cleanse. Hmm. Hmm. I actually kind of get, this is kind of left field, but I kind of get the energy that what God is saying is that once we surrender our fears, once we surrender to a power that is greater than our own, and then we just focus on grounding down in our day to day life, grounding down in our reality, grounding down on becoming a spiritual being in our daily life, then we will be able to move through this period of caution, turmoil, chaos, and then we'll be able to be cleansed. Well, this, oh, I feel like what God is saying is that this chaos, this time that we're in, this cautionary time that we're in, is actually cleansing and breaking way for the new growth. So it brings to mind that we're ending the old cycle so that we can bring new earth on board. And so what God is saying, instead of getting caught up in everything that is going around, he wants you to caution, temper your emotions, and surrender to a power that is greater than you so that you can cleanse, release all the worries, and then you'll be able to grow into the person that you want to do by keeping your creativity and disrupting this fear and thought patterns and bringing back this message of isolation. So remember that message of isolation, that you are not alone, and God was saying you need to disrupt your thought patterns and focus on your creative goals. So it's like all of this message is kind of just coming full circle. So to clarify, what this message of ascension, no limitation, and transcendence, along with truth popped out. See your light, know your power, have the courage to walk your truth. What God is trying to get you to understand is that you are a spiritual being. You are here to bring heaven on earth. So instead of getting caught up in all of the BS that is going around, surrender to a power that is greater than you. Caution yourself, temper your emotions on a day-to-day basis by making sure that you're staying grounded in those things that bring you joy, those things that make you feel good, staying focused on a prize, staying focused on where God has you going. If you do that, it will cleanse your mind of all of these worries, all of these fears that is going on, and then you'll be able to grow into the person you were truly meant to be. All right, so that was the channel guidance, but don't take my word for it. I'm going to go ahead and go back in here and see what does this message of surrender has to do with it. By ceasing to resist, you can create peace for yourself. The act can be uncomfortable at first because it hurts the ego, but when we surrender and let go, we free the parts of ourselves that have worked so hard to fight. Now that we are free, what can you do? What new pathways can you go down? And I feel like this is important because God is saying, instead of using your mind power, and I keep hearing this, like all we have is our energy. So instead of putting your energy into all of this fear, into all of the worst case scenario, into like thinking that the worst is going to happen, angel number 923, God is really saying, release it, surrender it, give it to God. And then once fear is no longer an option, right? Once fear is no longer on your menu to cloud your mind, who can you become? And I feel like the whole reason why this message is coming out is because right now you are allowing that fear to override your mind. And God is saying, you need to come back so that you can temper these thoughts, surrender to God so that you can let go of these worries. Let's go to this card of caution. The only thing about this deck is I wish they had a better, they need a better deck. I mean, a better, I guess, book to go with it. This card is a signal not to rush things. It asks you to slow down and listen to your inner voice. If something doesn't feel right about the situation you're in, ask questions, honor your intuition, and proceed with care. And I feel like this is so important because what God is saying right now, it doesn't feel right in our bodies to think about war. It doesn't feel right in our bodies to worry about the worst case scenario, to think about life ending. That doesn't feel right in our body because it's not true. And so that's why God is saying, instead of allowing all of these fears, because the thing is, when you act in fear, there's certain things you're not going to do. If you feel like the world is going to end tomorrow, you're not going to work on your project anymore. You're not going to go after your dreams. You're not going to keep trying to become a better person because you're going to feel like, for what? What am I doing this for? And so that's why God is saying, don't get caught up in this trick of the enemy. Don't get caught up in all of that other stuff, but really surrender your fears and work on trusting yourself and trusting your intuition. Also, I feel like when you are worried or when you're scared, you rush into decisions. You don't really think things clearly. You don't think things through clearly. And so that's again why God is saying, don't get caught up in the fear. Really come down into your body, ground yourself down. Really, this is the time. That's why I keep saying this is the time we become spiritual beings. We become the alchemists of our lives, because this is when all of those spiritual tools come into place. This is when you need to wake up every morning, having an affirmation card for you to read, waking up, doing your morning pages, waking up, doing some yoga in the middle of the day. Go look on I'm gonna make sure I put this article put the link to the article in this video. But go look at You Are Not Your Thoughts, and it tells you how you can structure your day in a way that you don't get caught up in the outside emotions. Because if you get caught up in this fear and caught up in the anxiety of everything that is going on, then you can't stay clear and focused on your ascension. You won't recognize your power as a spiritual being, and you can't tap into that transcendence. So this is why God is sending this message, because he wants you to have the tools to ascend and to become the alchemist of your life. You have to have the courage to walk in your truth. And a big part of having that courage is to feel that fear, but do shit anyway. Override it and stay focused on where you're going. Okay, let's get to this message of cleanse. Okay. All right. Cleanse. Cleansing is a beautiful way to show love and appreciation for yourself, your belongings, and your space. It's wiping away the dust and grime and revealing the shine underneath, bringing a sense of calm, ease, and clarity. When this card comes up, ask yourself what could use a little extra cleansing. How could you give yourself or your space a little extra love? And again, with this creativity right on it, it doubles down into what God is saying, is that to spend your time, instead of strolling on social media, instead of watching the news, spend your time into bringing peace and love and cleansing your space. Maybe you need to clean out this is a good time for you to go ahead and do those projects that you've always been thinking about and putting on the back burner. Go clean out your closet. Start separating those clothes that you need to give away for goodwill. You have to find a project. You have to find a way to find peace in your day-to-day life. The world is not going to give you peace, so you have to go find it for yourself. The last message is this message of growth. This message of growth. This card speaks to transformational qualities of nature and its ability to slowly grow and change throughout time. We are constantly growing and shifting throughout our lives. True growth means that you're moving towards your ultimate truth and the highest version of yourself. Sometimes growth can be painful, and you need to prune to make way for new blossomings. Remember that this is just a part of the process, and you're making your way towards your own sacred truth. So On a personal level, God is saying if you find yourself going through a lot of turbulence, you just find yourself feeling like you can't catch a break, instead of feeling hopeless, instead of dwelling in the sadness, what God is saying is release. This is the caution. Instead of staying hopeless, staying in this state of, oh, woe is me, I don't have any power, God is saying release the worries, let him take care of it. Angel number 1523. When you do that, you will ascend to a higher level. You will know there is no limitation. You will cleanse your minds of all those worries. You will be able to grow and transcend into who you are truly meant to be. And when you do that, then you can be able to walk in your truth. You'll be able to walk in the world in your truth and in your purpose. Okay? All right. I think that's the message. I'm actually going to leave it right there. We did a lot of, why? Okay. All right. Let's do getting into the vortex. God, clarify this message of ascension, surrender, caution, cleanse, no limitations, truth, transcendence, and growth. With this disruption that continues to peak out, what do you want us to know? Why is this so important for us? My attention to unwanted can't defy the law of attraction. This is why God is saying to surrender the worries. This is why God is sending this message to temper your fucking emotions. If you keep thinking the worst case scenario, by universal law, the worst case scenario is going to happen. So this is why God is saying it is on us to step into our power as creative beings and say no. We have a power that is greater than us. We don't have any limitations. And now we're going to cleanse ourselves for all these worries and really become who the fuck we are meant to be by tapping into our creativity. If your life has caused you to ask for an improved situation, no matter what it is, and you can no longer, if your life has caused you to ask for an improved situation, no matter what it is, you are no longer offering chronic thought vibrations that are opposite of your desire. Your desire must come to you, but you cannot continue to keep alive. Hold on. I'm going to read this one more. I got to read this. Let's read this together, okay? Angel number 1743. If your life has caused you to ask for an improved situation, no matter what it is, you are no longer offering chronic thought vibrations that are opposite of your desire. Your desire must come to you because you asked for it. But you cannot continue to keep alive within you vibrational patterns of what you do not want and receive what you do want. That defies the law of attraction. Did you catch it? I'm going to read it one more time because I thought you didn't get it. You didn't get it. You cannot continue to keep alive within you the vibrational pattern of what you don't want, which means you can't keep thinking about war. You can't keep thinking this is it. You can't keep thinking woe is me. You can't keep thinking God ain't out there. You can't keep thinking I'm hopeless. You can't keep thinking I'm trapped and then expect your life to change. It defies the fucking law of attraction. Because we know what we think about grows, right? Look at this card. What you think about grows. It multiplies. And that's why God is sending you this message to temper your motherfucking temper. He said, you need to cleanse your goddamn spirit. You need to remember that you don't have any limitations, that you are a spiritual being. And by you being a spiritual being, which means that you can transcend this body, you can transcend this earth plane, and you can tap into resources that are greater than you. That's why God is saying surrender. Stop spending your day-to-day life trying. What does you worrying about a war coming how's that going to help you in your daily life? How's that going to help you create the things that God has put in your life? How is that going to help you transcend and become who you truly meant to be? It's not, is it? It's not. Angel number 1952. Because it defies the fucking law of attraction. So what God is saying, focus on what you do want. Give that your undivided attention. And if you don't know how to do that, go look at my article, You Are Not Your Thoughts. Because the first step to doing that is to get control of your thoughts. I want you to think about all of this shit that's going on in the world and use this shit as a spiritual fucking exercise to become the alchemist of your life. Every time you see some shit that you don't want to see, that you don't want in the world, I want you to see it, to feel it, and to say, God, I don't want this shit. I want peace. I want love. And then I want you to focus on that. And then I want you on a day-to-day basis, every day doing that, moving towards that goal. If you do that, by universal law, it has no choice but to come to you. Angel number 2040. Other message that came out is our opinion about our children can influence our behavior. Again, what God is saying, look, let me just read this card because I want to break it down because it's talking about children, but God is trying to get you to understand is that your opinion about the world influences the behavior of the world. So if you continue to think hoes is winning, your world is only going to give you more evidence of hoes is winning. If your world view, if your opinion on the world is billionaires are evil, the world is not going to do nothing but give you more evidence that billionaires are evil, because anything else would defy the law of attraction, right? It would defy universal laws. So that's why God is saying, if you're a spiritual being, if you are for me, say you are for me and act like it. Move like it. Talk like it on a day-to-day fucking basis. And that don't mean you don't feel fear. That means you feel that shit and you override it. You feel that shit and you speak truth to it. You feel that shit and you ask your God, go take care of that shit. You surrender to it. I ain't got to worry about that stuff because God's going to take care of it. The more you see things in your child that you do not want to see, the more of that you will see. Let me read that one more time. The more you see things in your child that you do not want to see, the more of that you will see. The more you focus on racism in the world, the more you're going to see it. The more you focus on police brutality, the more you're going to see it. The more you focus on the injustices on the world, the more you're going to fucking see it. The more you focus on white people got privilege, the more the fuck you going to see it. And we've been doing it. That's why it's a fucking trick to try to fight racism. It's fucking stupid. It defies. If we want freedom, we don't ask for freedom. We just go be fucking free. And so, the behavior that you elicit from your child is more about you than it is about your child. So, the way that the world is right now, come on, God. The way that the world is right now is more a reflection of the human, which means you, which means us, which means we are so fucking disconnected from our spiritual side that's why we're in fucking chaos. The evidence of what we're seeing in the world tells you more about you than the fucking world. And so let me break this down to simpler terms. Every time I find myself trying to be racist against white people or being mean against white people, God will bring a nice ass white person in my life to be like, look, bitch, you know that's not true. Because deep down inside, my soul truth is love. My soul truth is harmony. My soul truth is peace on earth. My soul truth is we are one. And so even when I start getting into that, God will send me evidence of my real belief to remind me, you don't believe that. We know that there's bad white people, and we also know that there's good white people. We know that there's fucked up black people, and we also know that there's great black people. Because people in general are fucked up. Anyways, this is actually true of all your relationships. But since you think about your child more than you do most others, your opinion about your child plays a greater role in their behavior. This is talking about children, but this is also the world. Or the way that we think about the world, the way that we believe God, the way that is what we're going to see. And because God has let us down, God ain't been there for us because we was praying to the same God that lynched us, of course, we gonna see the evidence that God is not there for black people. But until you tap into your truth, tap into your God, tap into knowing God, knowing the truth of God for yourself, doing the inner alchemy. Come on now. Taking control of your vibration. I don't want to hear shit about what God ain't do for you. Because you ain't even got a relationship with God. I don't have time for nobody talking about what God is and who he ain't. If you ain't even got a fucking relationship with him, don't talk to me about it. Because you don't know him. You don't know him, boo. So of course he can be all that other shit because you don't have a personal relationship with him. When you get a personal relationship with him, I bet you be just as passionate as me. I bet you will be just as excited as me. Because you will feel it. You will know it. Do that mean I don't have fear? Hell nah. I'm a fucking human. Duh. Like I'm a human. But I also, when I do find myself into that, I temper myself and I bring myself back. I surrender to the public and I cleanse my mind of that bullshit and I remind myself of who I'm really trying to be. I'm trying to be a spiritual being. I'm trying to bring heaven on earth. Any other thoughts outside of that is counterintuitive to who I'm trying to be. Right? All right. Last message. Life is supposed to feel good for me. Bing, bing, bing. Say it louder for the people in the back. Life is supposed to feel good for me. Life is supposed to feel good for me. We ain't come down this motherfucker to suffer. What is the fucking point of this exercise? That would be stupid. God just making people to just suffer, to just go to work, to just do it 9 to 5, to just fucking have a couple kids. What the fuck? That's not what we supposed to be down here for. We're here to grow. We're here to transcend. That is our strongest message to you. Life is supposed to be good for you. Do your best to find the best of the positive aspects that surround you. Look for things to appreciate, even if there aren't many. It ain't a lot of stuff, y'all. I talk to y'all about this, but it ain't a lot of stuff that I can be thankful for. Well, let me not say that. It's a whole bunch of stuff I can be thankful for. I take that back, God. Control, Alt, Delete. But there's a lot of stuff that I could focus on now that's not going good, right? There's a lot. I could focus on the bad, and I have focused on the bad. You've seen me focus on the bad. But this year, I'm deciding to focus on the good. Angel number 222. I'm deciding to focus on the good. I'm deciding to believe that God only wants the best for me. I was doing thank you, God, for bringing that up. I was doing this meditation for the 222 portal, and like during the meditation, like God gave me this like visualization of like all these times where I came to him crying to him. So like from a baby to like middle school, like just all these times to now. All these times I'm crying to him, begging him to help me. And at first I'm like, I kind of like did, because I saw something else happen, so I was more focused on that other vision. But then when I think about it, I feel like it's like God is like, I saw you. I saw every time you cried. I saw every time you asked me for something. And he said, baby, I have been working my whole life to get you to this point right now. So I don't want nothing but the fucking best for you. I have been waiting for you to get this point. So why don't you think I'm about to deliver heaven and earth to you? You have been more than worthy of this. I have counted, I have kept track of every hope, every wish, and I'm going to deliver that shit to you. Because you believe, because you, even when you were scared, you still walked in your truth. Even when you didn't know, you still transcended your circumstance. And so I'm going to give you that growth you've been looking for. I'm going to deliver you that blessing you need. And so I don't give a fuck what's going on. If that shit can happen to me, it can damn sure happen to you. Look for things to make you feel good. Look for things to feel good about. Give your attention as best as you can to the best things that are going on in your experience, with the determination to train yourself into the best feeling vibration that you can find right here and now. What God is saying is not about, angel number 2929, it's not about us waiting 5 years to feel better. It's not about us waiting to the summertime to feel better. You have to find a way to feel better on a day-to-day basis. You have to find a way to make your vibration, to do inner alchemy and to get control of your vibration on a day-to-day basis. And the way that you do that, the way to start that is to get control of the tiny joys of your day. Fuck the big trips. Fuck all, we ain't got money like that. Focus on the little things, your little joys. And when I say little joys, do you like reading books? Do you like cooking? Do you like watching a good movie? Do you like walking outside? Well, it's kind of cold. Do you like a hot coffee, a hot cocoa? Do you like candles? Do you like incense? Do you like writing in your journal? Simple, basic things. And then if that's what you like to do, fill your fucking day with it. Spend time doing things that make you feel good. When you do that, you're going to transcend your person. You're going to transcend your circumstance. You're going to be able to bring heaven on earth. You're going to be able to bring your gifts about. But it really comes for you having to cleanse this fear. Temper your fucking emotions and surrender your worries and give it over to God. Because the time is now, y'all. This is not the time to get scared. This is not the time to give the fuck up. This is the time to surrender to God and to walk in our truth. All right? Because we ain't got no motherfucking limitations. All right. That's all the messages I have for you. Angel number 3120. I am done. I am logging the fuck off. Look at this. And God, to double, triple down, I have the power to direct my own thoughts. So God just saying, it sounds simple, but guys, we can do this. And honestly, that's why this shit is getting crazy, because they recognize we can do this. They recognize that consciousness, the ascension is happening all over the planet. And so now is the time that we ground down and tip the scales over to good. All right? All right, y'all. I will see you next week. Until next time, dream those dreams. Never let the internet rush you. And never, ever, ever let someone tell you what you cannot do. See you soon. Bye. Look at this. The law of attraction assembles all cooperative relationships. Lord God going off today. All right. Bye, y'all.